Hello, welcome to Ms. Peepers Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, aka Ms. Peepers. Let's talk about books. Today's topic, and you may have noticed the stack of books beside me, is the Spy Family manga series by Tetsuya Endo. I love this series, y'all. I mentioned it in my mid-year calm down video. If you watched that, you may recall, but I promised in that video a much longer description of this series and why I love it so much. So let's get into it. This is quite possibly the sweetest spy story that has ever been published. I haven't read all the spy stories. I actually don't read a lot of them, but I'll go on record as saying that is my belief. This is the sweetest spy story ever to be published. In this series, we follow a man called Twilight. That is his spy name. We never learn his real name. In the Great War between East and West, this is a fictional version of the Cold War, Twilight has been given a mission. His mission is to get close to a man called Donovan Desmond. Desmond is a political leader, and he is notoriously reclusive and very tight about his social circle. And so in order to get close, Twilight has been told that he must go undercover as a family man. He needs a wife, he needs a child, and that child needs to attend the elite Eden Academy, which is a very swanky private school. And the child also needs to become what is called an imperial scholar, so that the family can socialize with the families of other imperial scholars, such as Donovan Desmond's elder son. And so begins kind of a ridiculous mission. If you stop and think about it, don't stop and think about it. It's still life. Now, getting a child is not a problem. Twilight goes to an orphanage that is willing to lose the paperwork and adopts Anya, a 6-year-old girl who we learn is a telepath. Twilight has no idea. She's hiding this from him because she's afraid that if he finds out that she is weird or, otherwise a liability, he will reject her and she'll have to go back to the orphanage, which she does not want. So she uses her telepathic ability in an attempt to be the perfect daughter as best she can. She's also still 6, so what she interprets coming from Twilight's mind is not necessarily accurate in a lot of cases, and hilarity ensues. The wife is a little bit harder to get because the intelligence agency is understaffed. They can't assign another spy to play the wife, and so he has to find a civilian. And as luck would have it, he ends up meeting a woman called Yor. Now, Yor is single, and in this society in which people are constantly informing on their neighbors, everyone's on edge, everyone's worried about other spies. Everyone is worried about spies or sharing information with the West. Yor feels very noticeable that she is not normal. And in addition to this, she is an assassin. And so as an assassin, she has a tendency to keep to herself. And of course, she has this entire life that she has to keep secret. So when Yor and Twilight, who adopts the identity Lloyd Forger, Lloyd tells a story about how he had a deceased wife. This is all, of course, a lie. And that his deceased wife's only wish was for Anya to go to Eden Academy. But in order to get into this school, and this is the truth, he needs to present a full and stable family. They're very focused on traditional values. And so he asks Yor to help out with this and to pose as his wife. And because she wants the cover of a normal family life as well, she agrees. So we have a spy, an assassin, and a telepath, and none of them knows the secrets of the other two. How could it go wrong? This series, I've got 11 of these. I know there are more. This is as many as I've been able to get so far. What I love about this is that it's just, even though there are some dark themes, as you heard, we've got a really intense or dystopian type of community based, of course, on the Eastern Europe in the Cold War. And it's very, there's a lot of implied danger that anyone could be arrested or deported, or even executed behind closed doors by the secret police. There's a lot of fear there. And despite that, the story itself is quite lighthearted and funny. Yor has lots of assassin skills. She can kill a person a gazillion ways, but she doesn't know how to cook. She couldn't cook her way out of a paper bag. And her knife skills apply only to stabbing people and not to chopping vegetables. And so there are plenty of storylines about that. Twilight does all the housework. Twilight does the cooking, because otherwise the household would not stick together. And he doesn't mind doing this, but she sees it as a failure on herself, because again, this is a society that values really traditional gender roles in the household. And so Yor is constantly second guessing herself. Twilight is reassuring her. It's very sweet. It is the slowest of slow burns. I'm certain that they're going to get together like officially properly at the end, whenever that is, but they are taking their time. And I really appreciate that, because the author is not taking this approach of, all right, we've lived together for a couple of days, now we're actually in love. That those feelings are taking time to be established. And there are certainly moments where one of them will look at the other and, you know, have this kind of, is something going on here? I don't know. And then move on with their lives, which to me feels much more realistic than the insta love that this type of scenario might provide in another series. And so that's really delightful. Anya is so fun. She is a small child, and any moment that you forget just how young she is, she does something chaotic or silly, or she's easily distracted because she's a kid. So she wants to help her parents, she wants to help her parents with their goals. She knows that what Twilight is trying to do is very important to him, and also she understands that that is why their family exists in the first place. And Anya is very concerned about that insecurity, but instead of going down a dark path, which this very easily could, the author keeps it light despite that sinister undertone, because every time Anya realizes that something might not go well, she figures out a way to fix it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And it's just really, really delightful. We learn early on that Anya does not have the makings of an imperial scholar, which, as you can probably guess from the name of it, these are your best students. They get the best grades. They really focus on their academics. They get involved in extracurricular activities, all of that stuff. Anya's not great at that. She's not a great student. She's not super smart, but she also is not great at paying attention. But she is a telepath, so she'll have these flashes where she's able to read someone's mind and get an answer where she seems really smart. And so that is just befuddling to the adults around her who are trying to figure her out. Twilight learning to be a father is so cute and so pure, because he takes it very seriously because it's the mission, but then you see him building those feelings of family and like, this is what a family can be like, because he has never had that, or has not had that since he was a very small child. And in one of the books we do learn more about his background, but not his name. And then Yor has a different background in that she and her younger brother were orphaned when they were both young. So she cared for him growing up, and she as a child did not know what she was doing because she was a child herself, but that's how she ended up becoming an assassin, because she needed to bring in money. And so she has those maternal skills and instincts to take care of Anya. She just doesn't have the domestic skill set for managing the tactical aspects of a household. And ultimately, Twilight recognizes that Yor is so good with Anya on a personal level in a way that he doesn't know how to be. And so they do balance each other out. And he's very happy with his choice, though he does have to reassure her sometimes. This is such a good series. I don't typically like anime. I'm not a huge manga fan, although now that I've found cozy manga with this and Cat Plus Gamer and a few other things, it's I'm starting to warm up to it. But now that I found my subgenre within the genre, and so I can't recommend this enough because it's got that right balance of action with character building, and the illustrations are excellent. The characters are so expressive in the pictures. You are shedding something awful. It's been really hot. The cats are shedding. Let me know, have you read Spy Family? If you have, if you liked it, do you have recommendations of other similar types of manga that I might try? I'm definitely interested. And Miss Sylvie and I will see you in the next one.